Hello everyone, my name is Will Griesdeck. Today I will be presenting my superhero job analysis. I designed this job to attract Iron Man to the city of Houston, Texas to fill the position of superhero. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Iron Man or Tony Stark is a superhero in the Marvel Universe. He is a billionaire businessman and owner of Stark Industries. Tony Stark is a genius inventor and created the Iron Man suit, which basically allows him to be a superhero. Before explaining some of the other important aspects of my job design, I wanted to explain how I designed my job description. And for the job description, I specifically designed it for Iron Man. And one of the major aspects of the job is innovating cutting edge technology, which is Iron Man's strong suit, really. He's very, very tech savvy, a great inventor. And so when I made my job description, I kept this in mind. And so, some of the duties he'll be performing are basic kind of average superhero duties like fighting villains and, protecting the city of Houston. But I also included some of the responsibilities he'll have as an inventor, which will be working alongside some of the best engineers in the country in Houston and basically coming up with inventions and just kind of doing his own thing along with being a superhero, fighting crime, etc. Similar to the way I designed my job description, for the job specifications, I wanted to think of specific knowledge, skills, abilities, and other characteristics that would apply to Iron Man alone. For example, I included that the applicant would need to be a tech genius, which is a knowledge that Iron Man alone has. Similarly, I included that they would need to have a suit that basically gives them superpowers, which Iron Man has. Also, Iron Man was on the Avengers, one of the best teams to ever exist, so I included in my job specifications that you would need to be able to work effectively in a team. When I was creating my superhero competency model, I referenced the competency model in the book and basically used that as a template. So I have three main competencies, and those are knowledge and tech savviness, fighting skills and athletic abilities, and teamwork and leadership skills. Now for the proficiency ratings, I decided to go by a scale of 1 to 3. 1 being below expectations, 2 is meets expectations, and 3 is exceeds expectations. And I decided to rate what each of those numbers would equate to in a sense of the competencies. So for example, for the knowledge and tech savviness, a rate of 1 would be that the applicant has no knowledge or savviness. And 3 would be that they have knowledge and savviness to design multiple complex suits and other useful gadgets. So basically I designed this so that we could have Iron Man being at the top proficiency rating for each of the categories. Using the job characteristics model, I was able to design a very motivating and meaningful job for our superhero. So as far as skill variety goes, we're going to require them to have a lot of skills. We're going to need them to be good at fighting crime and fighting supervillains, which is kind of a normal average duty for any superhero. But we're also requiring that our superhero have knowledge in technology and the ability to design cutting edge suits and create inventions, stuff like that. So there's a large variety of skills that we need. For task significance, just the nature of being a superhero is very, very significant. Um, Pretty much everything that you do will be benefiting society in some way. So it's very significant. The superhero will be allowed a great amount of autonomy. They'll be given independence to complete their assigned tasks, but they will really only need to be um, ready to be called up in very few instances where the city is in danger. Other than that, the superhero will be able to do as they please with their time, really, as long as they're creating inventions and whatnot. And we'll always give our superhero feedback, whether it's good or bad. We'll always point out areas of work that need to be improved, and we'll always recognize when they're doing a good job and praise them for that. As far as recruiting our superhero, We will utilize many different sources of recruitment to do this task. First, we'll post help wanted advertisements all over social media websites like Facebook, and that will really hopefully reach our target audience. But these aren't always the most successful sources of recruitment. So we will also use our job search and networking programs like LinkedIn and ZipRecruiter, and this will allow us to reach a much larger amount of people that are potentially fit for the job. But we know that these two methods alone won't allow us to reach our whole targeted group of people. So we will also hire a private employment agency that specializes in specifically recruiting superheroes. And what this will do is allow us to really only reach out to the specific superhero that we want, which is Iron Man. So a private employment agency is very, very helpful for us, and it'll be very useful for our recruiting. So here we have an example of the actual job posting that I created. And what it is basically a brief overview of the job and a little bit more detail as to the exact position of superhero in Houston. And then we break down just some of the very main duties and kind of condensed all of the description into a few bullet points. And then also for the requirements, we basically just did the same for the job specifications. We condensed it into just a few specific skills that we need from our superhero. And this is basically just so that we can get a lot of our most useful information out in the job posting without making it too much words and whatnot, so that it's still engaging for the person looking at it. In conclusion, some of the main points I discussed in this presentation are the job description that I designed specifically for Iron Man. So some of the duties involve protecting the city of Houston, which is kind of just a regular duty for any superhero. But in order to specify into some of the duties that only Iron Man himself could complete, I included innovating new technologies in there. For the job specification, I specified that the position requires an extensive knowledge in engineering and technology, which again is applicable to pretty much Iron Man alone, which is why we made that so that we can target just him. The recruiting methods that I utilized are three of them. I used advertisements on social media such as Facebook. I used job search and networking programs like ZipRecruiter and LinkedIn. And I also used a private employment agency that specifically searches for superheroes. So this would allow me to kind of just zone in on the target group that I want and hopefully recruit Iron Man. And I hope that y'all enjoyed my presentation. Thank you very much.